Welcome in, everyone. This is your top badge, Uma B 1111 or 1111, and we are on the POF stream with my Wellness Wednesday show. Today is October 4th, 2023, and today we are discussing developing emotional intelligence. I have 8 tips on how to develop your emotional intelligence. So let's kick it off by reminding everyone this is an interactive show, okay? So we are recording on YouTube for people to watch later on, but we would love your questions, your comments, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me. We welcome it all. The only thing we ask you to do is to please be polite, please be friendly, please be respectful of my and everyone else's opinions. If not, we do have bouncers that will remove you from the stream. All right. Um, yes, Anomaly was just explaining why she gifts, and I love it. If I pay to see a movie, why wouldn't I pay to see a live show I can participate in? I love that outlook, Anomaly. Thank you for saying that. And that follows up with my next thing, which is gifting is awesome. Thank you for the gifts. I have a milli point loading, 19.1. I'm 22,000 away. So all gifts, even the free ones, are very much welcomed and appreciated. So thank you, Anomaly, for that. All right, let's kick it off by asking you guys to define in the comments what you think emotional intelligence is. And if you don't know, feel free to say, Uma, I don't know. I don't know what is emotional intelligence. Tell me, because I want to see where we are in the comments. If everybody here knows what emotional intelligence is, then I wouldn't have to define it. But if people are like, no, I don't know what it is, what are we talking about? Put it in the comments and I will respond, okay? The ability to identify and articulate emotions. I love it. Uma, please define it. Thank you, CT girl. Okay, so according to the dictionary, online dictionary, emotional intelligence is pretty much what Anomaly said, the capacity to be aware of, in control of, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships empathically. All right. So it's that ability that we have to be on top of our emotions, not react, but to respond, to have good relationships and interpersonal skills in the relationships. This is a sign of emotional intelligence. So I thought this would be a great topic for streams because we meet a lot of people on here. We're all new to each other. And you might say, how do I know? You know, I meet somebody online. How do I know if this is somebody I want in my life or somebody I kind of got to be a little bit, I don't know, you know? Well, looking at their emotional intelligence is a great tell if this person is going to be a blessing or a curse in your life. What I have found from my own personal experience is that people with a low EI, emotional intelligence, tend to bring a lot of drama and trauma to my life. So it got easier for me to look for certain things. And then if I didn't see these things, I would say, all right, this person doesn't have a high emotional intelligence, and I may not want to bring them into my personal circle, if that makes sense. Hi, Akiri. Hi, Oxane. Right. Hi, Jazzy. Yeah. So there's 5 components of emotional intelligence. And just for those that were coming in, we're talking about how to develop emotional intelligence tonight. This is the Wellness Wednesday stream. Welcome in. So emotional intelligence is defined as the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships empathically. So there's 5 components of emotional intelligence. And this is according to Goleman's emotional IQ theory. And he said the 5 core components is empathy, effective communication or social skills, self-awareness, self-regulation, and motivation. That's the 5 areas. Okay. So I just want to go into that a little bit. Empathy. What is empathy? I sense your pain. Okay. Emotionally intelligent leaders can walk in another person's shoes. Knowing what someone is going through helps to understand them better. It's why empathy is a key component of successful leadership. Understanding managers are approachable and they listen. The upshot of that is engaged teams and harmonious cultures. So put a 1 in the comments if you feel you have empathy, that you are able to sense other people's pain, joy, pleasures, whatever else. There we go. Okay, I feel I have empathy as well. That's very good. Very good. Hi, Afro. Wonderful. Okay. So, contrary to old beliefs, empathy shows strength, not weakness. All right. It's a skill and a trait that helps leaders bond with their teams through compassion and understanding. Now, of course, I'm reading this from a website, ewfinternational.com, and they're talking more about the workplace situations. All right. But we can kind of adjust it to our lives and everything. Hey, Patrick, welcome in. So, relating to others at the human level brings about mutual respect, making it easier to solve issues or disagreements in a calm and constructive manner. So what they're saying is if you have disagreements with people, if you lack empathy, you're not going to be able to see the other person's point of view or the other side of it. You're only going to see it from your viewpoint. And then when you do that, you alienate a person. Have you been in that situation before, where you were having an argument with someone who was only seeing it from their point of view and not taking into consideration how you feel? How did that make you feel? Right? So hi Pisces, so we don't want to be like that. We want to have and develop empathy. So that is one component of having emotional intelligence, is empathy. So I have some tips to build empathy. Number one, start listening more without interrupting. Now, I will be honest, I used to struggle with this a lot. I used to cut people all the time. And it was from streaming, I got to hear myself. And I was like, okay, Uma, you got to just really let somebody finish a sentence, before jumping in there. So that's one thing I have to work on. Please feel free to put in the comments what you're good at and what you need to work on. Hi, Pisces. Very humbling, very true. Number two, another way you can build empathy is to put yourself in someone's shoes. Like, just imagine, well, what does this mean for a person? What are they going through? How would they be feeling? It takes a little bit of a time to do that, but once you do it, you develop huge amounts of empathy for that person. You do. Ask questions. You do? Yeah. They do, Afro. They do. Ask questions, show that you are engaged. That's very true, Wild West. Because if you're asking, especially pertinent questions, right, that are sticking on topic with what the other person's talking about, not just oh, how did that make you feel? And wow, that's crazy. What'd you do, right? Like getting it very specific. In a second, I'm just going to go through all the material and then we'll talk about it. Number three, recognize and show appreciation for people. How many of you do that? Do you recognize the people in your life? Do you give them appreciation? I do that a lot here. Most of my gifters I would like to say, feel appreciated from all the flyers I make, all the DMs I send, all the posting I do, to just thank them publicly, to let people know, like, I appreciate, Wild said yes. Okay, he does too. All right. What about number four? Being open to share your feelings where appropriate. How easy is that for you guys? That develops empathy, right? When you're able to say, hey, I'm not really feeling my best today. I don't know what's going on, but I just feel like I got something going on and I want to talk about it. Just being open. Yeah, make yourself vulnerable. Hi, Senor Jukebox. Welcome back. You struggle with sharing your feelings. Okay. Is it something that you're working on, or you're just kind of like accept it and say, nah, that's not for me. It's too uncomfortable. I'm not going to go there. Hello, hello. We're talking about how to develop emotional intelligence, but we're first talking about one of the 5 components, which is empathy, and how to build empathy. Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. That's the self-awareness that, that's one of the components. So that's really good, Akiri. I do struggle sometimes, but working on it as well. Yeah. And a lot of these things I'm looking at, some I just ace, and then some I'm like, oh, I'm working on that over talking bit. If you guys catch me doing it, you know what I mean? Maybe we could have like a term in here. Just say Lotus. And it'll remind me, like, Uma, don't overtalk this person. Just because it's a habit. All right. Number 5, if you want to build empathy, volunteer for a role in a worthy cause, a community project, a soup kitchen. homelessness, or you could volunteer with friends, you know, a friend's moving, go volunteer to help them pack up or move their stuff or whatever. But volunteering does help bring empathy to you. Obatala, here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm noticing your comments. You know that I'm recording. So I know you probably want the clout. We're not going to kick you. But if you don't agree with the things that we're talking about, maybe this is not the stream for you. Okay. I don't want you to work yourself up. Yeah, dialogue, but it's like everything we're saying, you literally just said there's no like you're saying there's nothing. I'm saying this is the 7 things, and you're saying none of this exists. So dialogue is welcome. All right. Dialogue is welcome. But when you're just actually shutting down the work that I'm doing here, that's more a you problem, not a me problem. All right. You got to ask yourself, this question: why? Why would I want to do that? You don't have to accept it. You can go to another stream. All right. And you can find somebody that believes what you believe. All right. Afro, I used to volunteer at convalescent homes, singing for them. That's beautiful. I was just going to ask you guys, how many of you volunteer? Do you volunteer? I was a very active volunteer until I had children. And then that just kind of went out the window. But I do plan to get back to volunteering. Me too, Akiri. It's something that I have to work on. Okay. Number 6, practice loving kindness meditation or mindfulness. That is a really good one to develop empathy. I meditate every morning and it allows me that space. So instead of like reacting to situations, I'm able to better respond to situations because I'm not in that fight or flight mode, you know? How about you guys? Do you guys meditate or practice mindfulness? Because this is a great tip for building empathy. And the last one is work on your body language and reading that of others. So working on how you portray yourself. Like, don't, you know, this is like a typical don't talk to me stance. I'm not listening, you know, so you want to open up more, or observing other people's body stances as well, their body language. Yeah, about the body and stuff. Hi, Savage, welcome back. Yeah, because I have a very, defensive body stance too as well. You know, Carolina, welcome in. All right, so number 1, there's 5 components of emotional intelligence. The first one we just went over was empathy. All right, number 2, to be someone with high emotional intelligence, you have to have effective communication and social skills. Do you guys agree with that? Yay or nay? Yeah, the resting bee face, right, Afro? I think we all have that. Okay, let's talk about it. Comfortable interaction is another core component of emotional intelligence. People with good social skills are very approachable, easy to talk to, and therefore strong people. Effective communication is important for people as it helps build meaningful, mutually respectful relationships. All right. So that is a great one to have. How do you guys feel about your communication skills, your social skills? Let me know. Let's have a discussion about it. That's what I meant when I said dialogue. Okay. I want to know, like, what could you contribute to this conversation? Not shut down conversations. That's not dialogue to me. And you know what's the funny thing? Just sidebar while I wait for you guys to type. Do you believe you are an effective communicator, or do you have effective social skills? Okay, Savage, I like the honesty, the vulnerability. He said, I'm bad. Need work, but actively working. That's really cool. Thank you for being honest. I think I'm working. Let me know. Yes, I'm gonna put it up. Don't worry. I'll put up the thing. Very timid. Okay. For those of you that say you're timid or you have to work on your social skills, do you feel comfortable in this stream talking? I always wanted to know if the introverts or the ones that are not so social, do you feel comfortable here, or is it overwhelming? Because, you know, we have a lot of interaction and people and gifting. Sometimes that's honest. Hi, Formula, welcome in. We're going over the talk about emotional intelligence, and then I'm going to open up the boxes. Okay. Comfortable. Okay. I learned you need to concentrate on positive words. Very true, Wild. Very true. Okay. So that's number 2. Remember, 5 components of emotional intelligence: empathy, effective communication skills. Number 3 is self-awareness. This is, I'm a very self-aware person. It took a while. It took a while to make me self-aware. I'm not going to just sit there and say, no, it's like 20 years in the making. But you know what's the hard part about being self-aware? Is you are able to spot everything everywhere. All right. Thank you, Formula. Hi, Kane. Jet Daddy is here. I got Helicopter Daddy and Jet Daddy in the building. All right. So to be self-aware means you have a thorough recognition of your personal strengths and your personal weaknesses. That's what I mean when I say I'm self-aware. I know where I start. I know where I stop. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Thick. Welcome back. So you know when to step back and question your emotional state and thoughts before acting. This critical component of EQ helps you quickly understand why you feel a particular way and how it affects the people around you. So put on one, and I got the dragon and wheels. I got all my daddies in the building. So could we see some gifts or what? What's happening? I'm 19. I'm 22K away from 19.1. Okay. Welcome. Right, Thick? You know, you just gotta throw. We got all the daddies in here. We need some daddies to start being daddies. No, you can't be Jet Daddy, Kane. You've been Jet Daddy enough this week. All right. So listen, how many of you feel you're self-aware? Thank you. How many of you feel you're self-aware? Put a 1 in the comments and tell me if you don't feel you're self-aware, what are you doing to work on that? Thank you. Wow, thank you. And you know what's crazy? I actually think all of you are self-aware because I notice I don't have tolerance for people that aren't aware of themselves or other people. And all of you that I'm seeing right here are people I would hang out with. No, Kane, you're very self-aware. Trust me. Hi, Chris. Welcome in. How are you? Bien, I think you're very self-aware. It's so funny. Oh my gosh, all of you, Akiri, Savage, Wild, Kane, Afro. I was setting Kane up. I have banned Kane from gifting me this week because if you look at my board, you will see Kane is leading the pack. And I said, no more gifting this week, Mr. Kane. Afro, I think you're very self-aware, Afro, because from the conversations we've had. All right, do you guys want some tips how to develop self-awareness? Yeah, would this be helpful? All right, if you want to become a more self-aware person, you have to be mindful of your strengths, your weaknesses, your thoughts, your emotions. What does that mean? If someone asks you to do something and you know you can't do it, you got to say, I can't do it. You don't have to give a reason either. You know that, right? You just got to say, I can't do it. Yeah. Boundaries, exactly. Number 2, you have to identify your triggers to manage your own emotions. Do you guys know what your triggers are? Hi, Queen. Welcome in, love. Do you know what your triggers are? I know my triggers. I don't like seeing people being bullied or ganged up on. That's why you see me go off on trolls. If you see me in a room and people are treating somebody terribly, what's Uma gonna do? What do you guys think? I'm gonna get in the box. I'm gonna say something. I don't care if I get kicked out. I don't care if I get banned. I'm gonna say something. I can't stand there and see people taking advantage of other people just like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Kane said a trigger for me is dishonest people. That's one for me too, Kane. I can't stand lying. I'm a machine gun, too sensitive. Yeah. Yeah, it's just it triggers something in me. And then of course my children, right? If you come from my children, that's a trigger. That's not gonna stand, right? Friends that back you up in a corner to make a choice. That's a trigger for you. Okay, that's a really good one, Wild. Because I like that because that's like taking away my freedom, my autonomy, right? You telling me I can only do this or this. I'm an adult. I pay my own bills. I'm good. Yelling is a trigger. Okay, that's funnily enough, that's not a trigger for me. But again, that goes back to my childhood. You know, watch out for milkshake. Someone talking over me constantly. That's the trigger for me to Anomaly. Yeah, Afro sees me go off all the time. I'm surprised he's still my manager. Red hats on white men. I'm dead, Anomaly. Just oh, Albert, that's a really good one. People that twist your words. Like you say it, you know what you mean, they know what you mean. But because you said like one little thing wrong, oh, that's all it's about. I can't stand that. Pointing fingers. See, so we know our triggers. You guys are great at this. Gaslighting. And they know Albert. All right. So that's another way you can develop self-awareness. And it sounds like a lot of you guys know your triggers. Number 3, you can keep a journal. Do you guys write about your day, about stuff that you're going through? I don't write every day in my journal. I only write in my journal when I'm going through something and I need to process it. I find by writing about it, it helps me process it more. Do you guys journal? Stick said, yeah. Kane, no. Andy does. Okay. Afro used to. The people that are nice to your face and talk crap behind your back, that is a serious trigger for me too. Wow. Because that's happened my whole life. And that's so painful when I have hard decisions. And you find it helpful, Andy? I think you should, Kane. I love it. I love journaling in the morning. I have like my cup of coffee. I finish meditating. I got some nice music playing. And I'll sit right here and I'll just write, just write whatever's on my mind. Okay, BN said instead of writing, I prefer talking into my recorder. That's another great way. Yes. Journal by me too, Thick. Actually, yeah, that's a really good point. How many of you use social media kind of like your healing journey, to say what you're feeling? I do. Very, because I process my emotions and take decisions with a better, clean mind. I feel somehow with journaling, like it allows you to get it out of your head, right, and onto paper, and then somehow it gets all like nicely organized, to be on the paper. After this week, no. What about after this week? No. What, you're not posting anymore, or you're not posting? Yeah, me too, Thick. It takes me, guys, do you know it takes me 2 hours to make my posts that you guys see on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. So please, if you see my stuff, please hit me with that like. It takes me 2 hours a day to do all of that. Oh, the battle royale. Yeah. Yeah, it takes, right, Thick? It takes a while. Hi, Beauty, welcome in. All right, another way that you can develop self-awareness is to consider how your actions affect those around you. Now, I would say be careful about this because I have anxiety. And if I say something and the person doesn't respond in a positive way, I'm going to obsess over that for the rest of the night. Has that ever happened to anybody? You're welcome, Thick. Yeah, right, Queen? So we got to be careful with this part. Like what I've started doing, instead of spending, the next 4 hours wondering about it, I just go to the person. I just say, hey, I said this thing. I noticed you didn't really laugh. I hope I didn't offend you. If I did, I apologize. This is what I meant. And every single time it's my imagination, they're like, no, I'm fine. I'm great. I was listening to you, but I was doing something else. I was, multitasking, and they explain it. So that's a great way. So that way you're aware of how your actions affect others. You're growing your self-awareness, but you're also not obsessing over it. Number 5, use positive self-talk. Do you guys do that? That is said to develop self-awareness, right? Positive self-talk. I do. Yeah, I'm a fan. If I have a negative thought, I will sit there until I change it to a positive, like for instance, if I'll show you how I do it. Let's say I look at Thick Milkshake and I say, gosh, she's so beautiful and she's my age and she's so in shape and she got her life together and she's so smart. I feel really jealous of her. That's a negative thought. I would flip that and I would say, okay, Uma, you don't want to do that. That's a bad energy. That's a negative energy. And, Thick Milkshake is a wonderful person. You know what? It's not that you're jealous of her. It's that you are inspired by her. I look at her and I say, hey, she did it. I could do it too. So I'm going to just keep looking at her and appreciating her and cheering her on with her successes and trust that my time will come when it's time for it to come. Yeah. So that's how you can do it. Number 6, develop a growth mindset. How do you do that? Joel, thank you for the fave. How do you develop a growth mindset? One, for me, I listen to podcasts every day. Do you guys listen to podcasts? I actually have an Instagram group going right now for the month of October where every day me or someone in the group drops a podcast for the day and we all listen to it and we talk about it. If you guys want to join me on that, feel free to hit me up on my Instagram and I can add you into the group. Music, okay, mentor or coach. I love mentors. I love coaches. I've had so many in my lifetime. Okay. Yes. Lucid, welcome in. These are all great ideas on how to develop a growth mindset. Really and truly, what is growth? Something new. So how do you get something new? You have to learn it, right? So really and truly, to develop a growth mindset, it's just learning. So not staying stuck where you're at, using a coach, reading books, listening to podcasts, right? Or just even trying new experiences gives you a growth mindset. Okay. So far, hi guys, welcome in. We're talking about ways to develop your emotional intelligence. And we haven't gotten to the tips yet. We're just talking more about the 5 components of emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence, we have to be an emotionally intelligent person, you have to have empathy. You have to have effective communication, social skills. You have to have self-awareness, all right? And number 4 is self-regulation. Self-regulation. To self-regulate is to turn negative thoughts and feelings into positive ones and know when to pause between emotions and actions. Someone who self-regulates can channel negative emotions in a productive rather than the destructive manner. And this positive outlook makes it easier to solve problems with a cool head. So, do you guys feel that you self regulate on a scale from 1 to 10? Where do you put yourself with your self regulation? I would say I'm like at a 7. Hi, Ash. Yeah, my unconscious, Wild West, my unconscious biases more than my conscious, because the conscious I've been working on, but those unconscious ones just sneak in there. Okay, Queen said 5. Ash said negative 100. 7, 6 to 7. Okay, so we all feel like we could do some work here. Yeah, that would be the harder one, I think. And I think that's where we might need like a therapist, or as Wild said, like a coach or a mentor, right? That's where we need like a little bit of help to get us to help self-regulate. And finally, number 5, the 5th component of emotional intelligence is self-motivation. Self-motivation is a critical component of emotional intelligence for leaders, for people. No community will be at its best if its people lack internal motivation. A driven person is passionate, dedicated, and highly focused on achieving goals. Motivated people exude an optimistic disposition, and optimism is infectious, lifting people's morale and drive. A self-motivated person is a leader and very action-oriented. They continuously set high goals. I could see Eli laughing, and have a genuine desire to achieve them. That means you never graduate or reach the top because you have a constant internal strive to be and do more better. All right. I think we can all tell Uma is a self-motivated person. Definitely my team would know that, because I'm always setting goals and they're always like, Uma, take a break. And I'm like, we rest when we die. you know, Queen said, I don't have that. Thank you for your honesty. Depends on my sleep and if I already had my coffee. Okay, that's a very valid point, you know. My mind is motivated, but my body, right, because of the body stuff, want to stay on break time. Yeah, I love being motivated because it gives me something to focus on. I find with the mind, if you don't constantly have something to focus on, it can go adrift. Do you guys experience that? That's why I try not to like allow myself to have too much empty space in my head, because I have an anxiety disorder. If you didn't know. So if I just sit in the silence of it and I'm not thinking about something or working on something, it could go down a very deep, dark rabbit hole very fast. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why, and you go to groups. Okay, that's good, Queen. It's good that you're addressing it. So, control your focus or the world will, Anomaly said, and that is very true. Yes, I keep my mind busy and I stay busy for that reason. Yes, you have ADD. It can be very draining. Yeah, I have anxiety. I understand. Thank you. Thank you, Wild. Brooklyn King Way is in the building. Hola. Welcome in, everybody. We're doing Wellness Wednesday. I mean, Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday. Look, Wild, you nearly took over the name of my stream. Wild West Wednesday. That was a complete Freudian slip. Wild West Wednesday. Okay. I go 0 to 1,000 quick. Yeah. And ADHD. Put a 1 in the comments if you have some form of mental health issue, because I definitely have generalized anxiety and depression disorder that's diagnosed. Yeah. See, I'm glad you guys all put the 1s, because I just want to remind you that you're not alone with the things you feel the way you feel. Um, and I'm going to share a private story, but I'm going to finish the recording on YouTube, and then I'm going to share a private story. Just somebody remind me, Uma, share the private story about anxiety. Okay. Yeah. MIB, welcome in. Okay. So now let's get to our main topic. How do we develop emotional intelligence? You want to be an emotionally intelligent person, because emotionally intelligent people create peace, not drama. They create love, not hate. They create compassion, inclusion, not exclusion, right? So here are some 8 steps to develop emotional intelligence. Number 1, very, very simple. Think before you react. Something's going wrong. Somebody's yelling at you. A troll is trolling you. Somebody breaks up with you. Before you even let words leave your mouth, close your mouth, close your eyes, breathe, and just allow yourself to sit in that moment, right? Emotionally intelligent people don't react, they respond. So before you say anything, just allow yourself to sit in that silence and just think. And then you speak. It's very hard, Queen. Trust me. But the breathe part, what Thick said, that breathe part has really helped me, because while I'm focusing on my breathing and focusing on my breaths, I'm actually calming down. Ash said it's crazy because we have to teach social and emotional lessons in school now. I did not know that, Ash. Wow. They're just y'all should do you guys just want to parent the children? It feels like they're taking less and less responsibility off us parents, right? All right. Number 1, think before you react. That is a great advice for if you want to develop emotional intelligence. Number 2, say what you mean what you say. Put a 1 in the comments if you do this. Put a 2 in the comments if you struggle. I used to struggle a lot because I was such a people pleaser. So I would just say whatever to please people. And I didn't honor my own truth. I didn't honor my own feelings, my own thoughts. So in the beginning, it was really hard to put up those boundaries and say, no, I can't help you today. I have plans. I actually told this to somebody, you know, someone asked me to be in a show on a day, and I couldn't do it. So I just said, oh, I'm sorry. I've done that show before. I love the show, but I can't do it. I'm not available. And they said, why? And I said, I'm not available. And they said, well, what are you doing? And I said, that's none of your business what I'm doing. I'm telling you, I'm not available. But I couldn't do that like 5 years ago. Half. Yeah. I couldn't do that 5 years ago. Thank you, King. You don't have to explain. How many of you explain, right? Because you just feel guilty. You feel guilty about saying no to people because you like to people please. Yeah, all the time. Me, yeah. But when you develop this emotional intelligence, you're gonna find that strength to start saying no. And you know what I'll tell you? When I say no now, the people that love me accept it. No, okay. And that feels so good. It feels way better than people pleasing. So I recommend you start saying no. Walking all over me and using me, right, Candy? It's not a nice place to be. All right, number 3, accept responsibility, limit blame. Now, this was a big one because Uma used to be the victim. Put a 1 in the comments if you are still or you used to be the victim, right? That victim mentality. And I just would never accept blame. But now it's like I accept blame all the time now, to the point where if I'm arguing with my partner and I'm accepting blame, he's like, no, 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 babe, that was me. Like we're both fighting because we're in therapy. So we're both fighting to accept blame, right? I'm the king of accountability. That's beautiful. I'm not the queen yet of accountability, but I'm getting there. It's a little bit harder to do. Number 4, another way to build emotional intelligence is to accept constructive criticism. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but constructive criticism used to be physically painful for me. Mistakes happen all the time, exactly. Has that ever happened to you? If I'm here and I'll pick on Anomaly and I say, Anomaly, you would be a great streamer, but just those dogs in the background and they're yap, 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 yapping. And if you were able to like just stream indoors without dogs, you could make a killing at this. Now, it's helpful, it's constructive, but it is criticism. And we're not really good with criticism. I know when people criticize me constructively, what do you guys feel, right? You feel like a burning in your face. You might feel like your neck get hot, right? You feel your heart racing, your palms get sweaty. Have you noticed that when people criticize you? And they're coming from a good place, but it's just, how dare you criticize me, right? Hi, Vegas. So we got to work on that. We got to work on that. I I can accept constructive criticism now. Before I couldn't. But what I did in the beginning when I was ready to make that change is, let's say if King's telling me something that I don't like, I wouldn't say anything, but you could see from my face that I'm upset. I'm emotionally upset. So if King was to say, "What's wrong?" I would be honest. I would say, "Listen, you gave me some really good advice, but at the end of the day, it is constructive criticism, and I don't do well with people finding fault with something that I do. But I understand the advice you're giving me is helpful and beneficial. So I'm just working through my emotions to accept it." You know what I mean? Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Kyle. So that is number 4, accept constructive criticism. Number 5, if you want to build emotional intelligence, validate yourself. Don't seek validation from others. Is that an issue for you? But even before you, do you see people out here, especially in streaming, right? How many of you see people in streaming just needing that validation from other people, right? Look at me, you're so pretty, you're so sexy. Oh, you're worth those diamonds, right? We could like make a whole topic about that, because I work with stream couples, believe it or not. Stream couples are people who both are streamers and they're dating. They contact me off the app and they pay for like sessions so they could talk about what they go through and stuff. And one of the things I noticed is that in some of the relationships, the person is getting their validation from the stream, not from their partner, not for themselves. And that validation somehow takes more precedence over how their partner feels. And that's something I have to work with them on, to like understand, like that's a you issue. And you can't give, especially strangers, any sort of credentials in your life, right? Especially over your person. Very good, Ash. She's building herself back. Yeah. All right. Number 6, you got to accept change. Put a 1 in the comments if you struggle with change. Change is hard. Like, we don't like change. We're creatures of comfort. So when you have to sit there and say, okay, this is the thing that I've been wanting forever, I got it, and now it's changing on me, you got to learn how to accept it. Change is so hard. Yes, and we're going to talk about that, because when I bring you guys in the box, I want you guys to remember the points you want to talk about and jump in and just go for gold. All right. Number 7, Anomaly said it earlier. No, I'm sorry. Thick said it earlier. Set boundaries. How is y'all boundaries work, guys? I think my boundary work is a little excessive, because I will be cutting people down in the stream. Like that guy that came in earlier, right? He tried to gaslight me into believing him trolling me was part of the discussion, but I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. I said dialogue. And that's why I corrected him. I said dialogue, not contention. I'm not looking to get into a quarrel with you or a debate. If you want to debate, come tomorrow. That's tomorrow's show. This is a dialogue. And if you don't like what we're saying, find another stream that you like what they're saying and have a dialogue there. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Spanish. So, like I have a very strong boundary game and I don't let people ruffle my feathers. But I'll tell you something about boundaries. Hi, love. You're working on your boundaries. Ash is working on her boundaries with her kid. Hi, Nate. I'll tell you something about boundaries. I have very strong boundaries. The one thing I've noticed is when I put up my boundaries and I say, this is not acceptable for me, it's interesting to see people try to gaslight me. Have you guys noticed that? Hi. Have you noticed that? I'm shocked. People really can't accept a no. No. No means no. No. So be aware that for those of you that are learning to put up boundaries, when you finally start doing them, don't be surprised if people try to talk you out of your boundary and still overstep it. All right. It's going to happen. You're not crazy. You could institute whatever boundary you want. I could institute a boundary right now where I say, no one with the name K can come in this room. What does it mean? Nothing. It's her boundary. That's all. We just got to follow it. Right. So you don't ever have to tell people why you're doing what you're doing. That's another thing. You got to stop explaining why you make up your mind about certain things. And then people will come at you with all sorts of things. Oh, she's eccentric, or she's crazy, or she's off the wall. Listen, you don't need to explain your boundaries to nobody. Your boundaries are meant to keep you happy, keep you safe, and to allow people into your life that enjoy your presence and not looking to take from you. I always say this. The only people who have problems with your boundaries are the people who were abusing you when you didn't have any boundaries at all. All right. Your friends, I have so many friends that put up boundaries with me and I always respect them. I'll be like, thank you for letting me know. I apologize. I always apologize. I have one friend, she's trans, and I was calling her him. And she corrected me and said, I go by the pronouns she, her. And I said, I apologize, right? Because I'm seeing a man in front of me, but I will respect what you're asking me. So from now on, I call her she, her. You know what I'm saying? All it takes, guys, is an apology. And then just do what the person asks, right? If you don't like the answer, don't ask the question. There you go. Hey, Mr. Perfect. And then finally, number eight, another way that you can develop emotional intelligence. Surround yourself, people, with high vibe people. Surround yourself with high vibe people. You see all of you right here, you are all high vibe to me. That's why I love hanging out with you. I love talking to you. I love bringing you in my streams. I love giving you, bouncer status or recognition or calling out your shows because I benefit from being in your company. I don't hang out with low vibe people anymore because low vibe people brought drama and trauma to my life. They distracted me. They took me off my path. They gave me unnecessary lower vibe emotions, anxiety, worry, grief, shame, disappointment. The minute I got rid of all of them, my life has been smoother. So if you, woo, what's this? Kane! Thank you. That's the Mikey D gift. And Kane has sent me, I love this, the sea turtles. Thank you. Another high vibe person. And I'll tell you something. I love my high vibe friends. You know why? Because it feels so good. Like when I get gifts now, it feels so good because I am a person that's just always giving of my time, my energy, my money, my life, right? Like I said, it takes me 2 hours a day to create those free reels for you guys on TikTok, on Instagram and YouTube. So you have something inspiring to look at, something to make you feel better. I don't get paid for that stuff. So when my friends come in here and they gift on me and love on me, it makes me feel so appreciated. Thank you, Gift Daddy Kane. We just got to change your name to Gift Daddy Kane because he sends all the gifts. I'm ready for the lecture. No more spending, Kane. That is the lecture in here today. I thought you were going to take the 19.1, but I just want to say those are the 8 points for developing emotional intelligence. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you want to be here with us, go ahead and download the Plenty of Fish app. Everybody you see in the comments are streamers, so you can take a note of their name, download the Plenty of Fish app, get it on your phone, go to live streams, look for my name, UmaB1111, hit me with that favorite. Hit Wild West with the favorite, hit Kane with the favorite, hit Kyle with the favorite. Who else is in here? Milkshake with the favorite, Braddy Ash with the favorite, whoever else is in the Spanish, Harlem with the favorite, Artman with the favorite, Anomaly with the favorite. These are all streamers and you can check out their streams as well. All right. So thank you, YouTube.